Hi everyone, welcome to the Emerging Designer Intensive webinar series. Today we'll focus on getting your line recognized at a trade show. This publication of the Emerging Designer Intensive series is copyright 2011 by the Fashion Potential LLC, who has the exclusive proprietary rights under the Copyright Act to make and distribute copies of this course. No part of this course may be reproduced, revised, or distributed in any form or by any means, including photocopying, emailing, recording, and uploading to other websites, without prior written permission. Unauthorized copying of all or part of this course will infringe on copyright and may result in legal remedies and damages. Before we begin the webinar, I'll tell you about myself and why I started the Fashion Potential. I have over 15 years of experience working in the New York City fashion industry, working in areas such as sales, merchandising, and product development. I started out my career as a retail assistant buyer for Belk department stores. I then moved on to working in sales and merchandising for companies such as Liz Claiborne, Calvin Klein, Nicole Miller, Cynthia Rowley, Rocawear, and Joe's Jeans, just to name a few. I was an instrumental force in the launch of the Harajuku Lovers and Lamb handbag brands. In 2007, I decided I needed something more. I really wanted to learn more about the internet. I knew it was the way of the future, and I wanted to really learn more about it. So I created the popular website called Workchic. I sold it in 2010, and then I created the Fashion Potential. I wanted to give back to others what I wish someone had told me when I started out in the industry. I've seen it all, and I know how fashion is done the right way. I also know how things are done the wrong way. I look forward to helping you launch a successful fashion brand. So you have a product, now what? I get asked this all the time by designers. They have a product that's fabulous, they just don't know how to get it out there. The retail market is saturated and the economy, well, it's less than stellar. So how do you get your line recognized and get the attention of a buyer? Today we'll be focusing on how to get your line recognized at a trade show. So you just launched your label and want to showcase your designs at a trade show. Now what do you do? How do you choose which show is right for you? Should you do more than one show? The biggest question you should ask yourself is, where does my competition show? Research is absolutely critical here. I can't stress that enough. You really need to see where your competition is going. You don't want to exhibit at a show if only a few brands and your price point are there. That won't do your line or brand any good. If you can talk to some of the designers, whether they're your friends or even at another trade show or some retailers, to find out what shows they attend, that will help narrow your decision. No matter how big or small the show you want to do, you have to be prepared as you begin the planning process. Here are some questions you will need to ask yourself before you begin to even think which trade show is right for you and your brand. Will you need to travel to this trade show? You always want to figure the travel expenses into the cost of the show. Will you need to fly out to the show? Airfare costs. Will you need to rent a car? Will you need lodging when you're there? Always figure out your food expenses. Even taxis. Those costs can really add up. Will you be handing out any promotional giveaways at the trade show? This is also another expense that you have to think about for the future. How many people or employees will you have at the show? Can you get some friends to come help you sell your brand without paying them? Or do you have to hire help? What booth size do you want? Do you have a large collection and a 10 by 10 booth just won't cut it? Do you have enough marketing materials printed?
A fashion potential tip is that you want to bring more marketing materials with you than you actually need. You don't want to run out while you're at the show and have to run to Kinko's to get it printed. Do you know what you want to display? I have a lot of designers that don't know what to bring to a show. Something to think about. Here's another tip for you. You want to create a cohesive collection, so if you have a very small booth and a very large collection, you need to be selective. I can't tell you how many vendors I've seen that brought their entire warehouse to a 10 by 10 booth. The booth looks cluttered and the buyers are intimidated. They want to be able to walk into the booth and see the product. They don't want to feel overwhelmed. So that's something to think about as you begin this planning process.
There are two major trade show seasons that you should know about. In January and February, the trade shows feature fall collections. They may also feature spring or what it may be called as immediates, but primarily it's focusing on fall collection of that year. In August and September, it features holiday resort and spring of the following year. Here are some of the major trade shows you might want to consider exhibiting at in the future. Accessories the Show is the world's largest and longest running juried all accessory trade event. It showcases fashion accessory resources in over 30 classifications. It runs concurrently with Moda and Fame, which are another division of Accessories the Show. Here are the details you can access via accessoriestheshow.com. The capsule show is fairly new. It delivers the perfect dose of progressive style and borrows inspiration from today's mashup culture. From high to low, bold to subtle, impulsive to thoughtful, the beauty is in the mix. Its constant across all capsule participants is the premium level of ideas, overall aesthetic, styling, fit, design, and brand messaging. Only the world's most innovative and sought-after brands are invited to participate. Capsule is shown in New York and Paris, and you can find out all of the details at capsuleshow.com. The Designers and Agents Show is an independent international trade show for over 1,000 collections and thousands of retailers who define the cutting edge in fashion and lifestyle. The Designer and Agents Spring and Fall shows in Los Angeles and New York typically attracts 3,000 retail and media visitors. This show is pre-edited, art-directed, and merchandised to create a sense of camaraderie and discovery among emerging designer talent. For more details, visit designersandagents.com. Fashion Coterie is under the E&K trade umbrella. It is shown in New York, typically in February and September. This high-energy and more than well-attended clothing and accessory show has over 1,300 hand-picked known and unknown high-end contemporary labels. This venue also runs concurrently with Soul Commerce, which is shoes, and the Tomorrow Shows. For more details, visit enkshows/coterie. The E&K Accessory Circuit and Intermezzo collection is also a very big show. It spans over 3 piers in New York City, generally in January, May, and the end of July, early August. It caters to the accessory world, the high-end costume jewelry to fine jewelry, handbags, scarves, as well as clothing and even footwear. When I mention it's juried, that means that you have to send in a select group of samples so the board can vote on if your product is right for their show.
They will ask you questions, for example, where do you sell? What are your price points? Where is the product made? Are there any minimum quantities? Very minimal questions. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks until you hear an answer, and then they will send the samples back to you.
The Magic Show is a ginormous event. Each February and August, tens of thousands of buyers and attendees from over 80 countries meet more than 5,000 emerging to established brands to spark the next generation of fashion brands in the industry. It runs in February and August out in Las Vegas. Again, it's part of the WWD Magic Show, the FM platform, the Menswear Street Unlimited, the Slate Show, Pool Trade Show, Project, and Sourcing at Magic. If you are an emerging brand, I really suggest checking out the show, whether even visiting the show, you can see what type of brands are there. But really, this is the trade show to start out at. It's a great exposure for your brand. You want to make sure, of course, when you're new, you want to get location is key at all of these trade shows. Make sure that you're around your brand category so you get the proper traffic to your booth. The Project Show is a biannual clothing and accessory show held in New York and Las Vegas. The show is one of the contemporary platforms, for example, sub-shows under the gigantic Magic umbrella. The Project Show is known for showcasing emerging contemporary or streetwear brands. This show has a cool and relaxing vibe. It also runs concurrently with the Workroom Capsule at this show. For more details, go to project.magiconline.com. The Pool Trade Show was established in 2001 for the boutique market and leading retailers worldwide. It is hosted biannually every February and August in Las Vegas in conjunction with the Magic Marketplace. The Pool Trade Show carefully curates each show, balancing fresh talent with established brands. Each pool brand is pre-screened to provide a well-rounded representation of items that will keep the boutique and lifestyle market at the pulse of emerging trends. It also boasts a community of art and design-driven brands creating industry connections for creative visionaries. For more details, go to pooltradeshow.com. So if you're wondering how much a trade show costs, and this varies by trade show, this is what you'll get for approximately $5,000 at Magic Show in Las Vegas. You'll get your own space. This is about a 10 by 10 sized booth. You get one table, 3 chairs, 6 fixtures. You can get a combination of hanging bars or shelves depending on what product you have. You get one booth sign, which you see here, the top with your booth number, 2 arm lights, a standard carpet, which is put inside the trade show anyway, 500 watts of electrical power, 300 pounds of complimentary product drayage, which means they will pick up your product after the show is over. If you put it outside your booth, they'll pick that up. And complete setup and dismantle labor, which means they take down the booth for you after the show. They also put up the booth before the show. So it's very standard. Anything extra you have to pay for. Extra shelves, extra lights, which you definitely should invest in. Anything, a trash can you have to pay for, so you really want to plan out all of these expenses. Do you have a footwear brand? Here are some footwear booth options, also shown at Magic. Again, the costs vary from show to show that you may want to do. This is just an example. A 10 by 10 booth can cost over $5,100. A 10 by 20, over $10,000. A 10 by 40, over $20,000. And it comes with minimal lights, shelving, depends on the size of the booth. Normally the carpet